Authority MMA will exchange the banknote series which fall within those denominations on submission to the authority before July 31st, 2021. The new 5 rupiah banknote, which shows a faceless rendering of a Maldivian footballer, started to circulate on May 10th of this year. The note has the same design theme and is the same size as the other notes in the Randihafahe note series. President of Football Association of Maldives FM Bassam Adil Jalil officially announces the arrival of the prestigious trophy of World Cup 2018 to the Maldives on January 24th. President of FM Bassam Adil Jalil stated that various activities have been planned to mark the arrival of the most prestigious trophy in the field of football in association with Coca-Cola Company of Maldives. Addressing the press, Bassam revealed that Maldives is the second destination of the World Cup in its tour and stated that activities would be organized which would be open for public participation. Bassam revealed the efforts to bring the trophy to Maldives for training. Clarkson, Charlie Puth, Ed Sheeran, James Blunt, Jess Miraz and Wiz Khalifa. Jones is expected to stay in Maldives for 8 days, during which he would send out a public announcement seeking interested local music performers. Pakistani Prime Minister Shahid Khagan Abbasi inaugurates the 2 completed phase of the Hazara motorway, which is the first highway operated in northern China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, CPEC.
Pakistani Prime Minister Shahid Khagan Abbasi unveiled the plug of the 47-kilometer-long Burhan Shah Maqsood interchange at an inauguration ceremony at Slora Chowk in the province of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and listened to the on-site reports on the project's progress. The Hazara motorway and the Karakoram highway form the main transportation artery in the northern CPEC region. Jointly constructed by China's Gizhuba Group Corporation and Pakistan's National Highway Authority NHA, the operated part of the Hazara motorway is a 6-lane highway measuring 39.6 kilometers long in total. The remaining 20 kilometers of the third phase is still under construction by the NHA. The Hazara motorway, which will stretch northward to connect with the first and second phases of the Karakoram highway, is expected to help boost local economic growth and improve people's livelihood.
A team of experts appointed by Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi-led government visits Cyclone Ochi hit fishing villages in southern Kochi city.
Cyclone Ochi ravaged India's southern Kerala and Tamil Nadu states last month before barreling into Lakshadweep on December 2nd, claiming at least 70 lives. Hundreds, including many fishermen, went missing in the wild seas, prompting authorities to launch frantic search operations. Reportedly, 105 people are still missing. Fishermen Association in the state has demanded modern machinery with remote sensors along with at least a $15.59 million relief package. The team headed by a senior official in the Interior Ministry, Vipin Malik, is likely to meet more representatives of the region to finalize the amount and percentage of help which will be extended by the federal government. So far, the federal government has sanctioned around $50 million for relief works in Kerala, Tamil Nadu and Lakshadweep.
Nearly 20% of the 1.3 million Syrian refugees living in Jordan are school-age children. However, their educational status is worrying.
The Zaatari refugee camp, which is located in Mafraq city, is the largest Syrian refugee camp in Jordan. There are over 20 Syrian refugee families living within a distance of 1 kilometer of the refugee camp, as well as a refugee school supported by volunteer teachers. Its headmaster Abul Sultan used to work as a teacher for 10 years in Syria. He also has the experience of a headmaster for 15 years. Sultan and his family arrived in Jordan in 2013 and found many children unable to go to school. He thus decided to start a school for them. At first, the school only had more than 20 students and one teacher. The classroom was a tent, and children had classes without desks, chairs, and textbooks. With the help of international organizations and volunteers, now the school has 4 trailer classrooms, over 120 students, and 4 volunteer teachers. Compared with the rough facilities, what worries teachers more is the level of education of the students. Hiba is a volunteer teacher from Syria. Although her students are mainly 4th graders, she has to teach them what the 1st graders have to learn. According to Sultan, the biggest problem of the children are their psychic trauma caused by wars, as well as the indifference to education. Sultan and volunteers of the school often visit those families to persuade the parents and children to continue schooling, as the headmaster believes that a person would not have a future without education.
Turkish President Tayyip Erdogan called Syrian President Bashar al-Assad a terrorist and said it was impossible for Syrian peace efforts to continue with him.
At a televised news conference with his Tunisian counterpart in Tunis, Turkish President Tayyip Erdogan said that Syrian President Bashar al-Assad is definitely a terrorist who has carried out state terrorism. The Turkish president said it is impossible to continue with Assad and that he cannot embrace the future with a Syrian president who has killed close to 1 million of his citizens. Turkey has long demanded the removal of Assad from power and backed rebels fighting to overthrow him, but has toned down its demands since it started working with Assad's allies Russia and Iran in the search for a political solution in Syria. Turkey is now more focused on the threat of IS militants and Kurdish fighters it considers allies of the Kurdistan Workers' Party PKK, who it says have formed a terror corridor on its southern border. Turkey says the Syrian Kurdish YPG militia, which Ankara views as an extension of the outlawed PKK, which has fought an insurgency in southeast Turkey since the 1980s, cannot be invited to Syrian peace talks in the Kazakh capital Astana. The YPG is the main element in a force that Washington has assisted with training, weapons, air support, and help from ground advisors in the battle against IS militants. The US support has angered Ankara, which is a NATO ally of Washington. Despite its differences with Russia and Iran, Turkey has worked with the two powers in the search for a political solution in Syria. Erdogan's visit to Tunisia, the last stop of his African trip, is aimed at strengthening diplomatic relations between the two countries as they step up the campaign against security threats in the region.
Maldives Transport and Contracting Company MTCC revealed plans of upgrading and expanding its ferry fleet for Hurmale transport.
With the construction of accommodation flats in Hurmale by President Abdullah Yamin Abdul Gayoom, a huge influx of people have started settling in the new urban area. Maldives being an isolated island nation, the biggest impact of this influx is caused to the ferry services connecting capital city and Hurmale. Under the efforts to cope with this surge, handler of the ferry services, Maldives Transport and Contracting Company MTCC has commenced efforts to upgrade the ferry terminals of Male and Hurmale. In addition, MTCC has also revealed plans of adding 2 new ferry vessels to the current fleet. MTCC official Mohammed Nazim stated the upgrading of the terminals is expected to be completed by the end of next January. Mohammed Nazim further stated that legal paperworks of bringing 2 new ferry vessels to the current ferry fleet have commenced at a fast pace and stated that a new double deck is in the manufacturing process at the MTCC boatyard situated at the island of Tilafushi of Kafu Atoll. According to the latest studies, on average about 22,000 people attained services from the Male-Hurumale ferries, while this number is expected to incline to a range between 25 to 26,000 users. As per information provided by MTCC, a total expenditure of about $300,000 is invested to upgrade and expand Male-Hurumale ferry services.
Maldives Association for Travel Agents and Tour Operators Matato reveals plan to hold a roadshow that spans across 3 cities of India in March 2018. In addition, Matato is gearing up for roadshows in the Middle East, aiming to further promote Maldives.
Maldives Association for Travel Agents and Tour Operators Matato has been exerting major efforts to promote Maldives as a tourist destination. As part of this effort, Matato plans to partake in Outbound Travel Roadshow OTR, which would be held from February 11th to 15th in UAE, Kuwait, Qatar and Oman. Matato revealed that the roadshow will enable to boost the Middle Eastern market in Maldives and also create opportunities for local businesses. Furthermore, in its efforts to promote the Maldivian tourism industry, Matato will also join the OTR, which is held from March 19 to 22nd next year in Mumbai, Ahmedabad and Delhi. Tour agents, operators and invitees from all across the world will be present at the event. Of around 300 to 350 businesses from Mumbai and Delhi, while 200 to 250 are expected in Ahmedabad. This year, Matato, along with tourism industry representatives, have showcased the Maldives at 15 international travel shows and exhibitions. Matato aims to conduct and participate in many more events in the coming year.
Liverpool agrees to sign Netherlands international Virgil van Dijk from Southampton for reported world record fee for a defender.
Liverpool said in a statement that the club agreed a deal with the South Coast club and the player that will see the 26-year-old defender move to Anfield when the transfer window reopens on January 1st, 2018. The statement further said that the Netherlands international will be assigned squad number 4 upon his arrival at Liverpool. Southampton confirmed they agreed new world record transfer fee for a defender for Van Dijk, with British media reporting the figure to be around £75 million. Van Dijk was expected to join the Merseyside club at the start of the season after he had handed in a transfer request to Southampton. However, the move fell through when Liverpool were forced to make a public apology after being accused of making an illegal approach for the player.
After fishermen haul an eye-popping load of fish from the frozen Chagan Lake in northeast China, foodies from across the country have swarmed into local markets or placed orders online to start their annual fish buying spree.
The harvest came on the second day of a traditional winter fishing festival. The traditional lake fishing festival can be traced back to the ancient Jin dynasty in the 10th century. At an outdoor market that covers an area of 10,000 square meters, different species of fish can be seen piling on the market's ground coated by a thick layer of ice. The market itself is a natural refrigerator to keep the fish fresh. Long-awaited tourists and wholesalers swarmed into the market to pick from more than 60 species of fish, their favorite ones. For those who missed the opportunity to see the spectacular scene of fishermen dragging out a remarkable quantity of fish from the lake's icy water on spot, the Chagan Lake Dried Fish Factory offers them an opportunity to eat those freshly captured fish through their fish delivery service. According to the directing manager of the factory, 1 million kilograms of fish have already been booked from online, accounting for 70% of the overall fish sales volume this year.
With that, we conclude the news for this bulletin. Thank you for joining us. Have a pleasant day ahead. Bye-bye.